We back again, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of Entrepreneur Kickback. And I'm here with my man, Donte Harris, aka the homeschool dad, serial entrepreneur, real estate investor, tax specialist. My man, the Swiss Army knife out here, boy. I'm telling you. I be finding these Swiss Army knives. But how you doing today, good sir?
Man, I'm doing well, man. I really am doing well. I appreciate you having me on again. Thank you.
Oh yeah, yeah. And for transparency, y'all, this is like our third time trying to do this. So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Real talk. This has been a journey for us.
yeah. But we was gonna make it happen because, like, I found you on TikTok, and then you were showing people what some of the things people could do, outside of just being an employee. Nothing wrong with being an employee, but you want to show them a different way. So
Absolutely.
that's how I end up finding you. You end up coming up on my radar, and then found out you was in the same city. I'm like, oh no, we got to chop it up now. Like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
because
Because usually
we
when you find people, usually they're in different states. It's really not in the same states, let alone same cities. So you're exactly right about that.
and I'm used to us being looked over too. I'm used to Detroit being looked over on certain things. So like when I hear something that I don't normally hear, and it's somewhere like local, like even Michigan. If I can find somebody in Michigan and explain it to a Michigander, because a lot of
Yeah,
times you may hear, oh, I could do this, I could do this here in California, but it's completely different climate, so it doesn't apply to us. So it's like when I find a Michigan entrepreneur or someone within that realm here, I try to make sure I tap in.
appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah.
We got.
Um, but for those who don't know you, can you give a brief description of yourself and your skill sets?
So, as you stated before, my name is Donte Harris. I am a father, a husband, father of five, husband to my wife since 2004, and I'm an entrepreneur. So, what I mainly do is I'm a real estate investor. That's my passion. I love the aspect of getting the real estate and put people in better positions as far as living situations and making some money. At the same time, everybody got to make a living. So, um, like I'm an entrepreneur. I in the vending machine business. I bought my kids 6 vending machines from a guy on Craigslist. So I got into the vending machine business, and then uh, the transportation industry, the private transportation industry, which is called the non-emergency medical transportation industry. So, that's me basically in a nutshell. Somebody that's I learned these different skills, I guess, by reading, because I never wanted to be a 40-year uh, employee, and then have to retire when I'm like 65, 70, all broke down. So had to figure out another way to provide for my family. So being an entrepreneur has, opened that door for me at least. And I don't, shame nobody that do work. I just always encourage people, if you do work, what I'm saying, make sure you have something on the side. So when it's time for you, I'm saying, your babies to, they're asking you for something, you be able to provide, that and not have to take out from your regular pay. So I love, entrepreneurship. Like, it provides freedom for me, to be with my family. So I always encourage it. And that's the reason why, it might be one of the reasons why I'm on like social media, just to share my experience. Because my experiences can probably bring light to somebody else that might be interested in something that I'm doing or something that I know somebody else is doing, not shared on, social media. So that's me.
Uh, yeah, I love it because I love how our culture is developing that mindset,
Right.
and
It
and
has
that's
to.
that's pretty much Yeah, and that's pretty much the whole point of this show. And I'm gonna quote my brother Ken Blank Terrell: "Iron sharpens iron." You know, when
Absolutely, man. That,
yeah,
that,
you
that's
know,
without a doubt.
and I'll add to that. You know, it doesn't matter if it's a big piece or a little piece. You rub them together, they both get sharper. And you know, that's why I try to keep my guests at a range. You know, like recently I interviewed the guy. He was a he's a contractor. You know, he could fix up houses and do all this stuff here, but he found out it's more lucrative just to paint fences.
Oh, word.
You know, that's it.
Right,
That's it.
right,
And he found the sweet science in that, and that's done. That's done way better than him going into someone's house and fixing it up. Like it can be done, but then you have
right.
more moving pieces now.
Yeah, exactly.
But on the
That's
flip side, I got a guy who buys and sells businesses only, whole businesses. You know, so it's like
right.
it's levels to it, and I think we should hear as many perspectives as possible to find out what's within our genius.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
So, but it's so many things I can talk to you about, but it's one thing in particular we was talking on the back end that caught my eye and I had no idea you was into. You are an investor in tiny homes.
Tiny homes is
We
a sweet spot that I end up getting into, which is I love it. For one, it's inexpensive, and the entry level is not as um, it's not as hard as people may make it out to be. You know, as far as what I'm saying, even purchasing one or financing one. So yeah, that's one of the things that I got into. I believe it was 2020. Yeah, it's
mm,
2020 when we got the first one.
okay. So for those who don't know, can you explain what a tiny home is?
So tiny home is it's either it's considered like, I mean, it can be considered a residential home, but this particular tiny home is anything far as square footage wise, anything up under 600 square feet. And so it can be like some companies classify tiny homes as like sheds or cabins and things of that nature. Um, but they all have, what I'm saying, they all have rooms or they have lofts that are considered rooms, and have all the amenities that a regular home has: bathroom, living room, kitchen, have everything that a regular home has. It's just in a smaller, tight knit space. So that's the difference. It's basically square footage. Tiny home is considerably smaller, but has everything that you would have in a regular home, with just probably less bedrooms.
Okay, that's interesting. So like with that being said, like what are like some of the major differences as opposed to like investing in a like let's say traditional residential property versus a tiny home? Like I would
Good,
because you say if it's smaller,
right?
it would be better to maintenance. Uh,
The maintenance is really, I'm saying, yeah, that's a good question. So the maintenance is it would be way simpler, I would say, because you have not have as much space. But as far as investing wise, go back to the question. People, people such as myself, reason why I purchased it because my daughter wanted to start her nail and hair, let's say a hair spot, right? And I was looking around to figure out how can I make this happen without going to get a commercial space. You know what I'm saying? And so I started, what I'm saying, just, Google is everybody's best friend. Hopefully it is, what I'm saying? Google should be your friend. So I'll start Googling it, what I'm saying, how to, what I'm saying, get into that. Where can I get one from? The first thing that popped up was Home Depot. You can get them from Home Depot. It's what nobody knows. So Home Depot, you get one for like $22,000, right? Cash out, or you can get financed, and it'd be like maybe $200 something for that. You pay that $200 something over like 24 month or 36-month period. But see, they run your credit. So, Home Depot is like basically getting a Home Depot credit card, or Home Depot financing. And so if nobody wants to go that route, then there's all alternative routes that you can get into, purchasing your tiny home, and it doesn't require you to use your credit. That's the way I did it, didn't require me to use my credit, and you can also finance the same way that you were going to do it at Home Depot. So it's like I said, it's a beautiful thing, and we're going to go over that tonight.
Okay, so Home Depot has tiny homes.
Yeah, they have my Home Depot, and they will deliver them to you for, like, depending on the area that you're in, up to like 50 miles within, that store that you're in. If they have it at their location, they'll deliver to you for like $50 or something of that nature. Back in the days, it was about $50. Might be more now for the delivery fee, but you could get you a tiny home from Home Depot, already assembled. Not they bring the materials there and then you put it together yourself. It'll be already assembled for you.
So really, all you need is to have the land.
Yeah, you just have to have the land. Or if you already have the land, you can go get a permit, from your local city department, and get a permit to have it on your property. So you can have the house in the front, and then if you have a backyard, you can just put it in your backyard. Or if you have some acreage on the side of your property, you can put it wherever you want to put it on your property. You just got to get a permit from your city in order to put it on the land.
What is that permit called?
There's a mechanical permit. You got to pull all permits. So you have to pull your mechanical permit. You have to pull your electrical permit. You have to pull your residential permit and plumbing permit. So there's 4 or 5 different permits. So mechanical permit, plumbing permit, electrical permit, residential permit. Yeah, there's those 4.
Okay. Does it cost to pull permits?
Yeah, there's a cost to pull the permit. So depending on your city, it all depends. So there's all different fees. So it'd be like $15 here for wiring. It might be $15 for ducting. It might be $60 for administration. Well, I know it is. Administration fee maybe $60, depending on your city though. So the one I have, it's in Romulus. So I'm just gonna go off the Romulus fees. So in Romulus, it's administration fee is $60 for your mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and residential. So it's $60, $60, $60, and $50. So that's just for the administration fee. And then you also may have, like I said, for your sanitary, your toilet, it's going to cost you like $25 for that. It's going to cost you like $15 for your wiring. It's going to cost you. So all together, after they do the 15s and 15s and 15s, I can't give you the whole list because there's a list of things that they want to check as far as the permits go. So these 15s add up to maybe like $300 something, right, for each permit. So all together, for the mechanical permit, you might be coming out of your pocket about $400. Plumbing permit is probably going to be the most expensive one. It's probably going to be maybe like $450, $500. Electrical is going to be around $350, and the residential maybe be around $250, $300 for the permit. Okay. So all in, you may be in, as far as permit wise, you may be in like $1,200. But but it's considered like a dwelling, because somebody can, physically live in this particular tiny home. So that's why you're going through the same basic qualifications as a residential permit, meaning a single family dwelling, but you're just considered a tiny home. But you still have to pass the same qualifications as other things.
Okay, that's okay. So that's the way if you was to like, buy your home and slap it on some land. It kind of sounds
Yeah,
familiar to a mobile home in a sense. Uh,
kind of familiar, kind of similar. But only thing is, what I'm saying, with a mobile home, it's even though you're on the mobile home is probably going to be on a concrete slab. You also have to have the foundation slab for this tiny home, and your stuff is going to be permanently attached to it, as opposed to like the
mm,
mobile home is easy. You can move that just by pulling it away.
okay, okay,
Tiny home is going to be on a foundation.
okay, and okay. So and you said okay, that's one way to do it, but
Right,
you can go to Home Depot and you can go that route. But
right.
like, how do you find tiny homes for purchase that are already like built and in their piece of land already?
Well, see, now see, I have the land, so I have several land plots, right? And so I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with these particular pieces of land. So, case in point, like I was telling you about my daughter, she wanted to have that, so I needed to uh, either build a home on these pieces of land. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. I just wanted to grab up a few plots of land because they were reasonably priced. So once I figured out I can purchase a tiny home, I said, okay, well, all I got to do is see, how much it is to get the tiny home to a piece of land. Now, what you're saying, if I'm correct, is you're saying, uh, how can you find the tiny home that's already attached to land? Is what you were asking, or am I wrong?
Yeah, one that's already built. Like, do you like go to a realtor or something?
No. See, there's companies. So there's companies that have these tiny homes, like a whole, I ain't gonna say a factory, but a whole like uh, a lot of like not a parking lot, but they have a lot, and there's like different size tiny homes in this particular company, and then you just pick the size that you want, and they'll transfer it to whatever um, property that you have. You can't physically buy it. You can't. I ain't gonna say you physically buy it, but it's not already on the land. You're buying a tiny home and you're taking it to the land that you want it to be on. Now people do sell them, that way. You can buy a tiny home, that's already attached to a land. It's just something similar to a regular uh, real estate deal, but then you're basically paying like the right like retail prices. So that would defeat. I ain't gonna say defeat the purpose because you're still living at or purchasing at a minimum price as opposed to like right now the market is really high, right? So like for I would say 1,000 square foot residential home in like Westland, you're paying like 200. Last time I looked, which was like a week and a half ago, you're paying like $220,000 for a 1,000 square foot, single family home, ranch style in Westland, as opposed to if you had this purchased you a tiny home and had a piece of land that you might have bought for $5,000, and you put that piece of land on. I mean, put that tiny house on there. You get the tiny house for about we'll say $24,000, but you can get that particular tiny home for about $500 down, and then you're making your monthly payments in like 48 months, and you can have that tiny home owned, free and clear in 4 years, as opposed to like a 30-year mortgage.
Hmm.
That's why
See,
I think it's so interesting to people or people that are intrigued about it because it's less time that you can own this particular property, and it's what I'm saying it's less expensive.
you got my wheels turning. I'm like, man, I could get a tiny home and make it a podcast studio.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
uh.
Just think about that. So, um, like I said, 565 square feet is the one that we have, right? And that may not sound, too big to many people because they used to hearing, a regular residential home. You're thinking of something like a 900 to maybe 2,000 or 3,000 square feet, right? A regular residential home. So they might thinking about 565 square feet is not too big, but when you're looking at it, it's a blank canvas. You can do whatever you want to. It's like as far as you talking about, like for a podcast studio, you have a blank canvas in there. So you have a tiny home on the outside, but everything on the inside. Like I don't know if you've seen the video. That before we constructed it, that was that blank canvas. That's all you had was the wood frames on the inside. So you can do whatever you want to with it as far as building it out. And you can get financing for that. For if you also needed, have it help you get built out. You can get financing for that. There's places to get financing for that.
Oh, okay. Now, yeah, that's the big question. Like, okay, you said there's a couple ways of getting financing. You said you can use your credit to get finance, and there's ways you don't have to use your credit to get finance. Can you
So
explain the two?
yeah, so if you want to say for instance, you wanted to get into, you wanted to purchase you a tiny home at this very moment right now, okay, and it's going to be a tiny home, but the inside, it depends on if you want it already done. You want the bedrooms and all that stuff done. Okay, that's going to cost you a little bit more because they already did the construction for you. So instead of it being $24,000, it's going to be more like, we'll say $68,000 because they already did the work for you. So where I was telling you about when you don't have to use your credit, there's this company called Just Wood and Steel. They out in like Gaylord, Michigan. This is where I went through. You can contact them, right? They have what we have is something called a deluxe um, deluxe deluxe cabin. So we have three lofts at the top, and it was a blank open space. So the three lofts at the top are basically considered the bedrooms because we moved the middle loft down to the end of the home and consider that like a suite. And so you can fit a queen size. It's a queen size bed up there, and the little dresser, and very spacious. You know what I'm saying? And then there's another loft right in the front where the kitchen is. So I just lost my train of thought. But what I'm saying is, this particular company, you can go to them, and if you don't have the $24,000 or whatever you want to, you can basically rent to buy.
Hmm.
You can put the $500 down or whatever they require you to put down, and they don't run your credit. The only thing that they require you to do is have a job, something that you can be able to pay. Um, you can have to pay your mortgage, not a mortgage, but you have to pay your payment every month, and you can either
Damn.
choose 24 months, 36 months, 48, or 60 months. So it's basically you know 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years that you can pay this off. The higher the years you go up, the less your payment will be. So you can probably get, for instance, the first one that we had. I'm gonna tell you just like this. I didn't pay the first one we paid cash for. The second one we didn't because I didn't know about the financing. So the second one, I'm like, okay, we need the financing. Wow. Okay, so bet let me get jump on this. So the financing was, we paid, I believe, $550 down, and then we had to pay the moving fee. So they had to bring it to our location. So that cost. So it's basically like $3 per mile after the 50 miles. So the first 50 miles from the base location where they're located at, which was Gaylord, Michigan, I believe. Um, the first 50 miles was free. So anything after that 50 miles was $3 per mile. So I had to pay the $3 per mile to get to my location. That came out to be like $170. So altogether, I was out that, I could say $700 to get me a brand new home on my property. And I had 4 years to pay it off because I chose the 48 months. And so we are on year number 3 right now. So it's almost paid off for this the second one that we got. So it's that's what I'm saying is that's how easy accessible it is. like a Home Depot as opposed to Home Depot. Home Depot, you're gonna go in there and they're gonna be like, okay, you can say I want a tiny home. They're gonna be like, okay, well it's $32,000, or you can get it for $393 a month. And okay, well, we need to pull your credit, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that you qualify for it. So that's Home Depot because you're dealing with that structure. These companies that I'm talking about, like just wood and steel, they are like private companies where you can go to and you can get these tiny homes, you know what I'm saying, and rent to buy them, or you can just pay cash for them. Because they have new ones and they also have used models as well. And they also come in like different sizes. We have a deluxe model where we have the front porch. The front porch is basically like I believe it's 8 feet. We have an 8-foot front porch. They have like smaller models, like 8. Our unit is like 14 by, I believe 14 by 60. I think that's the size that we have, 14 by 60. Then they also have like a 12 by 32. Then they also have like an 8 by 12. So they have different sizes that you can get into, you know what I'm saying, and the price.
Let's see. I lost you at that last moment. Just repeat that. Yeah, just repeat your last 2 sentences.
Okay, so
start.
They have different sizes, right? The sizes are like the one we have is a 14 by 60, and then the next size is I believe like 12 by 30 and 8 by 12, and all of these qualify for the rent to buy program. Or if you're in the financial, have something. I know a lot of people are familiar with like rent to own, the furniture store.
Mm-hmm.
They basically have the same concept. Like they have just for a lump sum of money.
They keep trying to stop us, bro. They keep trying to stop us. we gonna push through though.
Yeah. Okay. Let me. I'm rewind the tape real quick again. So what I was saying is, if anybody's familiar with like the rent a center, rent to buy situation where same day 90 days of cash, they offer the same type of program as well. So say for instance, you decided you want to go and get you the deluxe cabin such as the one that we have, right? And they want the $31,000 or whatever, and you decide to do their rent to buy. So your monthly payment, we're gonna say, is like $504, right? So you get you run across some money, you get a lump sum of money, and you want to just pay it off and not pay the interest over those 5 years. Well, they give you the opportunity to pay it off in those first 90 days. So instead of paying that interest, if you bought it for like 31, and then the interest on top of that will make you at 40, then you still can get it for that 31 price in those first 90 days if you were able to cash out. So that's another good benefit about what I'm saying, working with some of these companies. So they have them all across the country. They have them in Indiana. But we went down to Indiana to check out some too, because there's a company down in Indiana called Old Hickory, and what they do the same thing, but their price is just a little bit cheaper. I don't know why they're a little bit cheaper, but they were a little bit cheaper down there. And the buildings are basically the same. The buildings were the same. The prices were just a little bit cheaper. But the thing is, on that back end is, you're traveling a little bit more distance, because I'm all the way in Michigan. As you know, we in Michigan, so that distance is a little bit. I'm saying, you pay a little ticket for that delivery fee. But like I said, there's companies like this like all across the country, and I think that's one reason why that a lot of people are trying to jump on it, especially like they want to downsize. I hear a lot of people want to downsize as far as budgeting and things of that nature, because the state that we're in right now, the financial state that everybody's in right now. So I think it's like one of the best situations to get into, and it doesn't require anybody to have any credit because you can go like in where we at. We in Detroit, right? So you can go to Detroit Land Bank in the city of Detroit and get some land, right? You get land for like $500, you know, uh, vacant lots, and if it's in a pretty decent area, you know what I'm saying, you can throw your tiny house up on there and be real, I say real comfortable, and own out of property within like 4 years.
Shoot, you got me thinking. So much stuff you can do with that. You say you put a hair salon in that joint.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do nails.
Do nails in that joint. That's nasty.
Yeah, yeah. And
If
like
okay, if you
like you were
oh, go
just
ahead.
saying, like you were just saying, like the podcast studio, that would be like, I would think that would be like a perfect situation as far as, you know what I'm saying, you getting your studio, you know what I'm saying, for inexpensive, I ain't gonna say inexpensive, but you know what I'm saying, for a cheaper price. Because you know, if you're dealing with commercial real estate, you know what I'm saying, that ticket is something totally different when it comes to real estate go. So owning a commercial building is something totally, you know, that price is just a little bit more hefty. And if you can own something and you don't have to go too far, because I know you are a fresh father, you know, you won't have to go too far. The stuff can be right in your backyard or on the side of your property, and you can go to your studio, knock out 4 hours, 4 episodes, and go right back home, and you know, and not have to worry about it. So it is something to consider, especially when I say when you don't have to run your credit. You know, a lot of people have, you know, challenging, you know, credit situations. So, and if you can own something outright and not have to go through all those strenuous measures. So I remember when me and my wife purchased our house, all the paperwork and all the loopholes and, you know, all the things you have to go through to, you know what I'm saying, get a home. It's man, that wear you down mentally. We looked at, I don't know how many homes we looked at, you know, before we purchased our first one. And, you know, all the paperwork we had to submit, like that could be daunting on the person.
Yeah,
So I
it
think
can
that,
be
you know,
very intimidating.
I'm gonna tell your audience that this is something that they should consider. You know, it's an eye opener. You know, it was an eye opener for me. You know, that's why I share it so much. You know, or I'm starting to share it more because, you know, I want to let people know that it is obtainable. You know, and you don't have to go through, you know, extraneous measures to own a piece of property like that.
Man, I love it. You got me really considering it now. Like I get plays all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
a few
right.
I did, it's a few I've done, and it's a few I'm in the process of doing. But this right
Right.
here, this could be an absolute game changer. You know, because you're right. I've been looking at commercial buildings, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it'd be nice, but I don't know.
I understand. And at the same time, like there's nothing wrong with the commercial buildings because, you know, you also can have like you can turn into like event spaces and things of that nature because that's something that, you know, we were looking into doing as well, like, you know, finding something to do with event space. And this tiny building, this all can do the same, serve the same purpose, kind of, even though you're in the residential neighborhood. But you know, that I just wanted to, you know, just throw that out there.
Okay, nah, I like shoot. I think he probably Airbnb them boys out too. Shoot, Airbnb a tiny home.
Yeah.
You
Tiny.
know,
That's one of the other ones is the tiny B&B. The second one is a tiny B&B.
nice,
Yeah, yeah.
nice.
Well, we got it on
Um,
Virgo. It's not on Airbnb. It's on Virgo, but it's, you know, it's the same type of platform.
oh man, you make me want to check it out now. I was like, man, come up here a few days, see what's going on, man.
Yeah, I want you to come out. I want you to come out to see it though, man. And we want to set it up so you can come out and, you know, check out the layout though, so you can see it. Man.
Yeah, definitely. Well, shoot. Speaking on that, If anybody's in the Michigan area, where can they come and get their nails done? Shout
Yeah,
that out.
we were out, right out in Romulus, right off of that Eureka, right off of Eureka Road, right by the airport. We are right off there by the Sibley Road.
Okay, for sure. What I'll do is like I'll get all the information in. I'll leave it in the show notes, so we put that out there for y'all. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So if anybody wants to get their nails done, you want to support Mr. Harris and his family, in their endeavors. Which this isn't the only business they've done.
it's
Like I said,
called
this
it's
stuff.
called it's called Z Nails. I believe she's still on Instagram. So I'll get her handles and I'll tell you her handles what she was here.
Yeah, yeah. We could put that out there because his family does a whole lot, and it's a lot of value that you could get just going in your direction, not just off the tiny homes and the nail salons, but what I'm saying, the taxes. We was kicking game about that one time, and the
Yeah,
non-medical transportation.
I was doing the taxes. That was years ago. That was about 2000 and I believe 9 and 8. Yeah, it was around that time. Yeah, but I learned
Yeah.
a lot. I learned a lot. What I'm saying, doing taxes. So that's also another thing I was trying to tell everybody. Just it was very inexpensive to get into as far as the industry go. And you can make, man. When I seen the check, even though we had to split it 50-50, when I seen that check, we made like $104,000 in 4 months. But we had to split it because I was working with a company, First Direct Tax Services, and the contract that we had, we split the fees 50-50. So it came home with 52,000. But if I would have did it on my own, it would be $104,000. So that's why I was preaching that to people. I think I lost you. Well, yeah, people. So if you are interested, like, just look up tiny homes near me.
Oh, we
This is
still going. I
something
lost
should
you for
be.
a second. We still going though.
Yeah, yeah, I'm still going. I was just gonna talk to him while you was gone. That was
No, it's
yeah,
cool. Keep going.
yeah. So I wanted to just share with people. So like, if you had, say for instance, you purchased your tiny home, right? And you got your permits and everything, and you didn't have enough funding, what I'm saying, to get it, to build it out. Where there's a few companies that I would tell, people, recommend to people, because I just wanted to give everybody information. So if they did want to get into it, and then they basically know all the steps to, what I'm saying, from A to Z to get into it. So there's like three companies that I would say that you can go to that would possibly give you financing for it, which is Lima One Capital. That's one company that does financing for small companies, like, not small companies, but small residential deals like this.
Is it
Link,
Limo?
yeah, Lima,
Lima. Okay.
Lima One Capital. Next
Okay.
one will be Link Capital
Okay.
and Vizio Lending. Vizio,
Vizio.
yeah, VISIO, Vizio Lending.
Okay.
So you can be say for instance, it only cost you $12,000 to, what I'm saying, build everything out with your plumbing, electrical, and all that. So you got $12,000 that you got to do financing. The property may have cost you, or the building may have cost you, let's say, between 25 to 30,000. So you say you have a home free and clear of all yours for basically like $50,000, and not have to use your personal credit, which is a beautiful thing. That could jumpstart you to saving and potentially, you know what I'm saying, just, venturing off starting other businesses or turning this into a full-time thing. Because once you get that first building, you might get addicted and you want to do it again and do it again and do it again because of the opportunities that it presents. So then you can, what I'm saying, once you get it built out, you can just rent it out to somebody. You can Airbnb it. There's, what I'm saying, there's several things that you can do with these particular units.
Dang, that's a nugget right there.
Yeah.
That's a nugget right there, man. Yeah, I got some research to do tonight. Like seriously, like we might have to move on this.
Yeah, them guys over there at Just Wood and Steel, and there's Old Hickory, and there's one more I believe in Michigan. I can't remember the other name offhand, but there's like 3 companies in Michigan that does this, and pretty much the people the sales teams that you're gonna talk to, I would say they pretty some pretty good guys, and they won't ever oversell you. So you're telling basically what your needs are, and they'll basically, what I'm saying, give you options. And like, okay, well, I think this is the best option for you based off, what I'm saying, where with the location you want to put it at, and what I'm saying, the things that you plan on doing or whatever.
Okay, I love it. So you've been a wealth of information in this matter. I was waiting for this podcast. I'm like, oh, we gonna get this information. We're gonna get this game today.
Yeah. So, I would say the first step, to anything that anybody want to do is just do some research, as far as, what these tiny homes entail, because each city has they have zoning requirements. They have the permits and things that you have to pull. One city might have you pull a certain permits, and you might not have to. Like I tried to do this in Ipsy, right? And I had so much trouble. You know what I'm saying? I had a unit up there, and they just kept on messing with me. So I pulled 3 permits. I pulled the mechanical permit. I pulled the electrical and plumbing permit. And they wanted me to pull the residential permit. And after they gave me the runaround, I'm like, well, look, I'm not about to pull another permit. They just said they weren't going to guarantee that I was going to be approved. So all the money that I put into it, which was about $2,000 at the time, and once I pulled that last permit, it was going to be like another $700. So I would have been all in like $3,000 for permits, and it wasn't guaranteed being approved. I just decided to pack it up and move it to Wayne. So, that's why I'm saying do your research, because wherever you're going to put it at, just make sure that you know all the zoning and requirements that's going to be in your particular facility, because you don't want to get the tiny home and then you find out that you got to pull all these permits and you may not have the funding or whatever the case may be. Just make sure you always know what you're getting yourself into before getting started.
Man, okay.
But I'm not scaring nobody. I just want to make people aware that, this is your money that you're going to be putting into this particular thing. So just make sure exactly if it's attainable in your city.
Proceed with caution. Yeah. Okay. No, I got it, because that's a nugget, because that's something that someone may jump into. Like, it's easy to get into trouble, and it's hard to get out.
Hard to get out. Yeah.
So no, that's dope. So like, okay, so I'm beginning to wrap it up, but like, okay, you want to make sure, you say you want to reach out to your city. Who exactly are you reaching out to make sure you can put your home on your particular land?
Or you just going to like the building department, the local building department.
We family man, ladies and gentlemen. We family man. So,
but yeah, your local the building department in your city. So they would You just Google building permits, uh, and they'll tell you like where you need to go as far as filling out your paperwork and putting up your cash for your permits. But that's who you need to talk to, the building department.
Okay. Uh, the I love it, and it's been very informative and like straight to the point too. And then we got enough to like say, hey, we can go out and do our due diligence here. You know, you got Home Depot. If you're in Michigan or nearby Michigan, you got Just Wood and Steel. If you're in Indiana, you got Old Hickory.
Right.
Um, you know, and like you said, Google's your best friend. If we didn't mention your state, Google Google companies like this within your state. And
Yeah. So I would just the best way for me to tell people how to if they're in a different state. Um, I would say deluxe cabins in my state, tiny homes in my state. Uh, yeah, I'll put deluxe cabins or tiny homes, but that's what is considered when we're doing it, when we're purchasing these things. There are deluxe cabins or regular cabins. Um, they also might call them, and they might call it a shed. Um, I know I don't want like to use that term because most people consider a shed like what I'm saying, those things that be in the back of your home that you put lawnmowers and all those things in. But if you've seen the video, it's nothing of that sort. So I don't like to use that term, but you might have to put that term in Google if you're in a different state. I know in Michigan we just put in you know tiny home or deluxe cabin.
okay, and shoot, I think with that, as far as we can land the plane there, man. Um,
Okay.
I don't want to kill him with I don't want to kill him with all the game, but you got to come back again because we got to chop it up about the non-medical transportation. But
Absolutely. That is one thing that could they can use their personal vehicle to transport people just like Uber or Lyft, but you just have your own personal private transportation company.
all right, yeah, yeah, yeah. So well, first, if people want to connect with you, how can they connect with you?
Well, you can connect me. You can find me on TikTok, the Homeschool Dad. You also can find me on YouTube, the Homeschool Dad. You also can reach out to me via email, thehomesschooldad at protonmail.com. And our website is thehomesschooldad.com. So those are the ways that you all can connect me and reach out to me. Because like I said, um, there's plenty of information on the internet about saying about getting into tiny homes, but my main thing is I want to inform people to let just do your research and just make sure it's available in your I'm not available, but you can what are the requirements in your particular city. Like I said, I had troubles in the city before, and there's too many zoning requirements and things, and I just figured that was going to be a headache as opposed to just me moving into a different city and being more comfortable as far as renting it out or whatever I wanted to do with it. And it worked out for me because that city that I had it in was, what I'm saying, it was I considered it was going to be a problem. It would keep on finding me. And I'm saying, that was another thing, after I figured out I didn't want to keep it on that particular property, you know, then they gave me so many days to move it. And if you didn't move it, it was like $50. No, it was $125 a day that you kept it past that particular that day that y'all agreed upon, to move the unit. So that's what I'm saying. Like there's research that need to be done when you're doing this, so you won't be in that type. That was a learning experience for me. I'm saying I just jumped up and purchased a tiny home and just took it to because I have, like I said, a few pieces of land, so I just decided to put it up on there without doing the proper research. So my job right now is to give people that information to do your research when you're, trying to do this. I know where we at, like in Detroit and saying that like Wayne County is like more. I say it's more easy to do as opposed to like Washington or Oakland and Lenawee.
I think this could be a master class of some sort.
Yeah, there's things that we can do. We can go over, like I said, like finance and like if we can, if you think about it, like I said, if they go to my TikTok or YouTube, you'll see like this to start off as a blank space, right? And so you might want to build it out. Now you can have people, saying work on in the inside, but if you don't have a licensed person that's doing the work, then the city can come there and find you and make you move it. So all the work that you did, in that particular property, you can lose all that or have, have to move that unit because you didn't get the proper permits pulled by the proper person, licensed person. So that like there's steps, that you need to do. So you can get it done, but you have to do it, the correct way. Like you can have, a family member do it, but if they can't pull those permits, it'd be a waste of your time. So yeah, this could be like a class that we can just like, break it down, step by step. I know we on this particular podcast to give the information, like the easy steps. Like the easy steps is, to, first, figure out what's the requirements in your city. That's the first thing you want to know. And then what permits you need to pull, that'll be the next thing you need to know. So you know basically how much money you got to come out of pocket for the permits. And then you want to know, wait a minute. Then you want to research these companies, these companies that are like just wood and steel that have these particular units that you can finance as opposed to just using your personal credit and things. So there's just steps that you need to follow. But in the end, like I said, it's way much easier than going to finance a home through a mortgage company and things like that. All you have to do is be employed. So this is why I strongly suggest this to people, because it's obtainable.
Okay, man, I love it, man. We gonna do this again for sure. Um, I'm a sign us out. I'm gonna sign us out, but stay on the line so the video can finish rendering. Excuse me. This is the Entrepreneur Kickback. I'd like to thank you guys for listening. Salute to my man Donte Harris, the homeschool dad. Um, Subscribe if you found this content entertaining. Leave a 5-star review if this meets your needs, and of course share the show. To anyone that may be helpful. I'm Parrish Patton. I'm with Donte Harris. This is Entrepreneur Kickback. We out. All right. And